How do you stay top of mind in the hiring process so that those hiring managers and those recruiters don't forget you? Well, I'm going to break it down step by step for you today. It's going to take me more than 30 seconds, though. So if you don't have time, bookmark it and come back because you will want to understand these tips. How do I know to do this? Well, I worked in the staffing and recruiting industry for many years, but for the last 20 years, I've been helping people like you get new, better paying jobs by teaching them the things that hiring managers and recruiters are looking for. And this is one of them, what I'm going to teach you today. See, the key to the process is always giving thanks, especially after every interview. I want you to think about it for a minute. They're the customer, you're the salesperson. And right now, in this competitive job market, they're choosing you over hundreds, sometimes thousands of other applicants to interview. So when you go on that interview, you better give thanks afterwards. Now, the good news is it's a very simple thank you note. In fact, a lot of people make the mistake of sending these long winded, narcissistic recaps of how great they are. That's not what I'm suggesting you do here. My thank you note has three simple components. Step one, thank you for taking the time to speak to me today regarding the XYZ position. Notice I said today. We always send our thank you notes by email on the same day. Section two, I really enjoyed talking with you about blank. Think about something you discussed with them that you really enjoyed, that you nerded out on. Show your enthusiasm and share that. I look forward to the next steps in the process. Sincerely, blank. 3 steps. That's it. Super short and sweet. It's easy for them to read, it's customizable, and it shows that you're taking that extra step. Now, I had somebody on a live podcast today say, but aren't thank you notes kind of desperate? No, folks. You just got given the opportunity to interview. You are selling yourself. Show your professionalism. Go that extra step. Send the thank you note. The other thing I get asked a lot is, well, there were 3 people in the interview, or I interviewed with 3 different people. Do I send an email to all 3? Yes, to each one separately. Each one gets an email, and customize that email for each one. You talked with each one about something different, so customize that section. Let me tell you why. They circulate those emails to one another. So if you give a copycat email, they're going to see that you just copied and pasted. But if they see that you send a thank you note to each person, points for you. It goes way up. It just shows professionalism and that you're really putting skin in the game. You're really hustling. Now, if you left an interview and you didn't ask for their email addresses, go back to the person that set the interview up and say, I'd really like to send a thank you note to each person. Could I have their email addresses? And I'm happy to CC you on it, right? That point person is always the person that you're going to speak to. Now, here's what I want you to remember. A thank you note after every email, after every interview to anybody you interviewed with. They are saying, depending on which studies you look at, that interview processes are taking anywhere from 4 to 13 weeks with companies right now, and that people are going on anywhere from 2 to 5 or 6 rounds of interviews. So yes, you're going to send a thank you note to each person after every interview. But if you think about the format I just gave you, it's super short and sweet, and yet it's personalized. Now, if you're in the interview process and things go silent, let's say it's been 2 weeks and you haven't heard anything, that is when it's okay to send an email to get a status update. You're going to send that email to whoever's been coordinating the interviews. So if you went on an interview and now 2 weeks have passed and you haven't heard anything, whoever coordinated that interview is who you're going to go to and say, I wanted to be proactive and see if there's anything else I can provide to further my candidacy. You're not sending them a bunch of stuff about yourself, right? You're not selling yourself proactively. You are inquiring if there's anything else you can send to be proactive for your candidacy. And that's what you're going to do at that moment. After that, you're done. You're done. They know where to find you. We're not going to email anymore. We're not going to stuff their inbox. We're going to move on. In fact, if there's anything you can learn in this process, is that we do not put all our eggs in one basket, or as I call it, job crush. Because the moment you start interviewing with a company, if you stop all other job search and you just sit around waiting for the phone to ring, you're not going to end up happy. More likely, it's going to take them a long time. Maybe you're not going to get the call. And now you're going to have wasted all these days and weeks waiting around for one job that didn't come, right? We don't do this. You were on one date with them. Think about it like dating. One date. We're not sitting and waiting by the phone. We're playing the field. So once you send that 2-week follow-up, if you don't hear back, you are moving on. In fact, don't even wait. I want you filling your pipeline right now with lots of interviews and lots of thank you notes, because if you do that, you're eventually going to land in the right place. But again, folks, it's a fine balance, kind of like the story of Goldilocks. Too little. Like if you think thank you notes are silly or desperate, you're not going to get contacted. I'm telling you, I know companies right now, they choose who moves forward based on whether or not they send thank you notes, because it matters. It really matters. But at the same time, too much, checking in all the time, checking with multiple people all the time, you look desperate. So my rule of thumb of a thank you note to each person after every interview And then when it goes silent, a 2-week check-in is the best way for you to manage this process and stay visible without overdoing it or underdoing it. Okay. But more importantly, this better not be the only company you're focused on. Okay. Hey, if this made sense and it helped you, will you help me back? I am trying to help millions of you because I can't work with all of you one on one. And so I put together a free resource center, no credit card required. All you have to do is pop your email address in, and you will get access to $1,000 worth of my proprietary courses and reminders to come to my live podcast. I go live 3 times a week, and I would love to have you there and teach you all these fabulous tricks. I just talked about this one today. So go over here, down here, pop your email address in the free resource center. Let me send you reminders to come to my podcast. Let me help you as much as I can for free because I know it's tough out there. And you know what? You deserve a new, better paying job. This is the year of hashtag your name 2025, and we're going to do it together, okay? Can't wait to see you inside the free resource center. Good luck. Go get them.